So one of the first things I do when I meet with a client, well, I say meet because many of my clients, I meet them for the first time at the shoot. So I spend the first 15 minutes probably just getting to know them, breaking the ice, getting them comfortable, but also in a way training them. There are certain things with posing that really helps. And I feel like if I can get them to read these cues, like train them to read these cues, then I don't have to keep repeating it. So one of the tricks I use is I have them mirror me. So so for example, like I'll just say like, oh, like just do that, you know? And right? So like, let's have you guys all, like, so if you guys were my clients, I would say like, oh, like here, mirror me. Like, we'll try that, right? There you go. Let's have the chin out, lean forward a little bit. Right? So when I'm first starting, I do use verbal cues as well because I'm trying to explain so that they know what I'm talking about, right? So it's like, oh, turn to me more or turn away from me more, right? And I'm using those cues, but eventually as the shoot progresses, I don't have to use those words anymore. Eventually when I just do that, they'll know what I'm talking about. And I feel like that just, it doesn't ruin the flow. Once you start getting them into the groove, right? Then it doesn't interrupt them. I feel like the most common things that people get insecure about would probably be a double chin, right? So one of the things that I like to do with my clients is I have them, it's like a chin down. So you guys can try, it's like a chin down and then it's like a slight extend, yeah. I mean, the trick is beautiful. But the trick is you don't want it to look like, right? So it's really subtle, right? So it's almost like when you say chin down, there's a tendency to do that, which then emphasizes this, right? And if you just say extend your neck, there's a tendency to do that. So the trick is like keeping your face the way it is, but then now just kind of elongating the neck just a tad, right? Because whatever's closer to the camera is gonna look bigger and whatever further back looks smaller. So it's like, usually people like shape in their neck, so you want the neck to look a little bit thinner than the face, right? So you have the face closer to the camera, but the neck pulled further back. So that's one easy way to eliminate your time behind Photoshop, if you can get the clients to be trained with that. So once I get them to do that, it's like practice that a few times with, you know, and once I get them to do that, if needed, I will come up, like if they're not as comfortable moving their faces, then I may come up and like just hold their chin to help them, right? But once you get that and they understand that, then later in the shoot, if you catch them doing that again, you could just like, and they'll know what you're talking about. That's a really like quick way to just get them to mirror you, and that's like nonverbal communication. It doesn't interrupt anyone's train of thoughts, right? And because sometimes they won't even realize that you're actually reminding them, you know, it's like we're still having a conversation. Eventually we're gonna, so like later in today, I'm just gonna start trying that with you guys. So that's one way you can have them mirror you. The other way you can have them mirror you also, I feel like the back of the arm is another sensitive area for many. So like, and there's a tendency to do that, and that really presses the arm, right? So just by doing this. So I'll first work with them on that. Like if they don't know what to do with their hands really, then this is always a safe one. It's a little sassy and it, you know, gives their arm something to do. And I'll get more into like other ways of doing that, but usually it's like trying to make this more slim and also making them comfortable. So there's a way to mirror that, and once you train them with that, then you know you can start nonverbal cueing. So if I'm like about to shoot, then I can just like, oh, like Cindy, you know, then you'll know, right? Without having to say like, don't squish your arms or